Praise the Lord, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Leisha, the preacher, your daily reader. Hey, I thought that was kind of cute. I threw that in there. But guys, oh, ooh, child. Well, it's been interesting in my life lately. You know, I'm not even sure what all happened really, but whatever's happening, it created a lot of things to resurface, I guess you could say. Things are resurfacing, and old conversations are coming back up, and even new ones. And, it just goes to show just because someone, quote unquote, break up with you, leave you, walk out on a particular day, doesn't mean it's all over on that day. Like I said, my ex walked out 5 years ago, and he is married to someone new today. But my family is still being affected by this man. He is still reaching out to one of my daughters. He don't need to. You left, you divorced, you walked away, you don't care, you don't love. Focus on your wife and her kids. Focus on her and them. Leave us alone. You left us, you divorced us, you abandoned us, you neglected us, you allowed us to be raped. All three of us, me and my daughters, were raped on your watch and treated all kind of ways on your watch, and you did nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Where is the love? Where's the love? We've never had it. You molested my daughter, touched her, stole her girlfriend. Where has all this love you talking about come from? Leave us the fuck alone. Leave us alone. Pull back all your energy. Pull back all your money. Pull back everything about you. You are married to a white woman. You got your prize. You won. You put us through all that hell just to get to your white woman. You got her now. Why are you still reaching back? Let all the way go. Pull all your energy. But guys, let me tell you why he struggled. Okay. Even though he made all these bold moves, walk out on me with no real explanation, end up a couple of years later married to somebody else that he was cheating on me with all along, with all the other women, of course. She thinks she's the only one. She's never been the only one. She's not the only one today. You know what I'm saying? But you can't tell these women nothing. They think they stole the love of their life. They stole somebody else's husband as the love of their life. Okay. But here we go. Back in 2011, before I had my first suicide attempt, my husband made it very clear that he was just basically using me, never should have married me, regretted the whole thing, and, blah, 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 blah. After I didn't put in, what, 15, 16 years. Now, how do you wait so long to tell somebody I really can't stand your ass? I just been faking all this time. Really? Who fakes for 15, 16 years? Who do that? I wasn't faking. I was putting in real work. But since he challenged me, we ain't ready to physically break up, but he's just letting me know how much he can't stand me, right? But still want to stay married. Don't, our adopted kids were too young, and it would have messed up his career. You know, he would have been a single father trying to be an up and coming, engineer. but his career was over. They were done with him at year 20, basically. But anyway, that's another story. So I said, okay, fine. We're not separating, we're not divorcing, but you don't want me. Okay. But we're still going to have sex, live together, and raise kids like nothing's changed. Okay. What kind of special dummy do you think I am? But we'll do this. We'll do this. And I was like, but wait. I know you don't love me, you don't want me, but you still need me here for sex. You still need me here to keep the kids. So your career and all that. I get that. But wait, don't I deserve some love? Do not deserve some attention? Do not deserve to be able to go out sometime? Do not deserve something? How can I live the next 6 years knowing you don't love me and don't want me and regretted being with me, but you still want my sex? This doesn't make sense. You still want me to cook and clean and do everything anyway, but you're just letting me know, fuck you. I'm like, okay, well, can I negotiate polyamory? Let's open up the marriage. That way I can get what I need and you can get what you need. Because how can we continue for 6 more years until the last adopted child is grown if there's no love, if there's no affection and no, who can live like that, guys, with their spirit so broken? I knew I couldn't. But I suggested, let's open up the marriage, because I don't want to be in a loveless situation, a complete loveless, because I have been completely faithful. I never cheated on him, didn't even think of no other man. None of that kind of stuff, y'all. None of that. I was completely into my soulmate, my twin flame. You know, that's what I felt he was to me. That was just tripping, y'all. I was stupid and dumb. But anyway, I opened up the marriage and I used that to test him out. I needed to find out, what is this man really talking about? I mean, I've watched a lot of Lifetime movies, so I've seen one cheating spouse after about 1,000 Lifetime cheating spouse movies, okay? So I'm not like clueless, you know what I mean, about what's going on. But I just wanted to, you know, see what he was into, because I'm not into anything. I'm cooking, cleaning, depending on him for every dime. I stay at home, wife and mom. Now, I'm a brainiac, so I just stayed in school and got a PhD just because. 'Cause I didn't want my mind to go to waste. You know, I didn't want my mind to go to waste. So, guys, I got a PhD while I was just chilling, raising a family. But I wasn't just doing a PhD, y'all. I was a school board member, the neighborhood association president, um, substitute teacher for our kids, Girl Scout leader. I was doing everything, you know, that a community leader is supposed to do. I know I was supposed to be in politics, running a lot of shit. That's just what my calling in life is, to be a boss in a lot of areas. That's just me. So, but anyway, I started doing research on why men cheat, why women cheat, and I made him research. We started doing research together. We spent a whole year doing research on the difference between cheating and doing things honest with consent. So before we ever got with anybody that I'm aware of course, he had always been with somebody. Okay, it's our marriage started with him being in love with his birthday twin, which was someone that he was like a god sister to him. They grew up together. They grew up together like a few houses down as neighbors. And he developed a strong crush over her over the years. And before we, got serious, I told him to address that. I didn't really know specifically who he was talking about and all that, but he just mentioned it was somebody that, before we got married. But after we were married, I knew how deep it had gotten. It was easy to see once we got married who this woman was in his life that he had wanted to marry. I did not know she lived a few doors down from his parents, and he had spent his whole life with her already. I didn't know all those details. You know what I'm saying? But once we got married, I had to deal with that. What am I gonna do? Say I do, and then a week later, be like, oh shit, whoa, Nah, we just stayed married. And so women at work, he had what work wives. So we had already identified who the work wives were. I knew their name, and I just played that game with them. The work wife, the birthday twin. So there were certain people that were just there, and I just accepted it because I was on marriage too and was stupid. No other way to put it, just dumb. And so here we are, 2011, before I ever had sex with anybody besides him. We spent a whole year researching this because I have to know, guys. I don't just do whatever. I don't just do whatever. I'm a researcher. I put a lot of thought into what I do. Now, do I make some emotional, decisions here and there? Yeah, I'm a woman, or a person. I don't think it's limited to women. I mean, the way we market it out there, women are emotional, men are logical. That's just advertising. Like, what's the real difference between men cologne and women cologne? We're trained to smell it a certain way. So anyway, back to my crazy ex-marriage. Um, so I found out after we opened the marriage, because it really wasn't about me trying to have more men. I really could care less about having more men. I'm more into generational wealth, legacy, using that Bible to every, just using the Bible, every measure of it to make sure my life is beneficial. That's my life's passion. That's what make me have orgasms. If you want to make me have an orgasm, pull out the word of God and show me how you going to make me wealthy in the kingdom and on earth. Show me how we going to rule shit. Show me how we going to be bosses if you want to make me have an orgasm. But my husband wasn't interested in my orgasms. He didn't care about being bosses and control of anything. He just wanted to go to work, pay a check, and sleep with as many women as possible, like any other man. He was just like any other man. So I opened up the marriage to test him out. What are you into? What is it that, we already don't have that you just gotta have from out there? You know, because I'm already a gymnast, cheerleader. Like our sex, it wasn't so much that our sex was boring. He couldn't even keep up. He couldn't keep up with my sexual appetite. I needed it like 3 times a day, personally. I could use it 3 times a day, 3 hours a time. So the first few months of our marriage, like maybe 6 months, that was pretty much our sex life. And it got to the point where he felt like I'm gonna lose my job. I'm like, well, we can't do that, so I need to pipe it down. But so I don't see quote unquote quality of sex or lack of sexual adventure is his excuse. It's his excuse. Now, there was something, no, right? Something. And I figured it out over time in an open marriage. His sexual boundaries, he just really didn't have any. Anything could go with this man. And I was so shocked. I was like, so all these years, you know, he's out here, literally doing anything. Now, to me, fun sex is, swinging from ceilings and being lifted up and flipped around. And, I'm a gymnast. I can still do handstands and cartwheels today. So that's the kind of sex that I think is fun. Almost like, oh, remember that, guys? Remember the weekend video? Earned it. The lady at the very end hanging from the ceiling with ropes and tape all over and stuff. Now, to me, that's fun. Have me hanging from the ceiling, like stuff like that. That's fun to me. But this man is different. I found out that he liked it when I left someone else and came to him. Do not shower. Don't shower. Some people literally are the cleanup person. They want to go suck off, lick off all the juices and whatever from who you were with previously. Now, anyone that's ever been with me, and it's not a whole lot of people, to be honest, guys. I mean, like, it really, I mean, like, in my lifetime, in my life, I'm 55, be 56 this year. In my lifetime, now some people, this might be a high body count. I don't know. This could be a high body count to some people. But to most people, I've talked to women who have been with hundreds. When I say hundreds of partners, who blew my fro over. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, hundreds. I'm way behind then. Jesus Christ. In my lifetime, I may have been with 20 people in my lifetime. And I'm 56. Maybe 20. 20 might be kind of high, but I'll just round it up to 20. I've had, even though I had an open marriage, guys, even in our open marriage, I was very selective and tried to make stuff last for years. Because I don't like, I'm with my body, I'm very clean. Like I do not have sex with anybody if we ain't showered, washed. I got to be scrubbed down. You got to be scrubbed down in order for me to enjoy the sex. But I found out this man like dirty sex. Dirty sex. I was like, wow. So don't take a shower, just come on in bed. Really? Dang. I That blew my mind. I mean, like, it's not that I liked it, but I just thought it was strange that he did. But hey, we got to get through 6 years. And if this is how you like it to get through 6 years, so be it. Now, what I liked about the open marriage was the vacationing. I really didn't have much sex with the people that I was seeing. I dated one guy for 8 years, and I can count on one hand how many times we had sex in 8 years. But the reason why we were together is because of the adventures. I liked his parenting. That's the only reason I saw this man for 8 years. His parenting was so, I had never saw a father raise daughters alone. I dated this man not for the sex. Lord knows it wasn't for the sex, but it was definitely for his parenting. I knew my daughters didn't have the right type of, you know, fatherly love and support. I never had it. I never had it. I didn't know what it looked like. I didn't know what it felt like. And my daughters didn't receive it either. They had male, father figures, but it just wasn't the right way. And then I met a man who cared if their children's teeth are brushed. He's the one buying their clothes. He's the one that's working and doing the laundry, cooking dinner. I had never in my life seen a man be a father on that level. Worried about dinner. I mean, like, he actually cared about his kids. Was he perfect? Hell no. He was, I mean, still a nigga, you know what I mean? But a nigga that cared about some kids? What? I had never seen it, y'all. I'm sorry I'm ignoring the comments. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. Um, I mean, if what you don't know what you don't know. So yeah, I had an open marriage, but I opened my marriage so I could see things in ways that I had never seen before. You know, I didn't open my marriage for sex, not at all. I had been molested by three different uncles since I was five, guys. Sex is not a big deal to me. I could care less about it. When you're five and violated on that level with sex, whatever. You know what I mean? Sex just, you don't carry the same weight as a woman who probably was a virgin and touched by a man she desired. You know what I mean? That wasn't going to be my story, ever. So I knew at an early age what my body could tolerate sexually and what it couldn't. So being married to some man that's cheating, whatever, you know, a man was sleeping with my auntie and me, my auntie, you know, and I shared her husband. Now it was forced on me, but they chose to live that way. It was forced on me, but they knew, and that was their choice to live that way. So that's why to this day I'm probably poly because I, as a child, knew this man was married to my auntie, and I was forced to be with him, and she knew about it. She knew he was messing with us for years, but she was, getting paid. So, that's called prostitution. I was being pimped out by my family, and it is what it is. So again, here I am married, and I wasn't threatened by my husband, having sex with people. I wasn't threatened by it. I didn't know life any other way, really, to be honest. So, um, so I mean, here we are. I'm like, well, let me do something different. Let me find out what he into. And yeah, some men claim they don't want to share no woman. They lying. My husband claimed he didn't want to share no woman. Toward the end, he ain't say that until after he left me. He ain't say that until after he left. He never said that during the marriage. During our open marriage season, he was not like, I don't want to share you. I don't want to leave. We need to end this sooner than we planned. We always planned to break up, but it was going to be after the kids get a certain age. You know what I mean? So, which that did happen. I mean, we both waited to that time, but he got 3 more years out of it though, because he was lining up that next wife, line up that next wife. But yeah, but I just wanted to share that some men say one thing, ladies, but they really are doing some other stuff out there. While you're being loyal and faithful and cooking and cleaning and making everybody's dreams come true in the home, that man is out there licking and sucking off a sperm off of other people's bodies. Don't even want them to shower. I mean, I figured it out during years 17, 18, 19 in my marriage. I figured out this was he was like. But what if he was like this the whole time? But I'm just allowing him to be comfortable enough to open up and share it with me. So I actually moved a man into our home. You know what I mean? This man paid him rent for a whole year. Now, my name was not on the bank account. So again, I felt pimped out. I felt like my husband allowed a man to come into our home. The man paid him rent, and this man had access to me. I didn't have to shower. I would just go right to my husband and let him lick it all off. He was so happy that year. The kids remember. The sugar baby was there too. The sugar baby was living there too, y'all. She never could afford to live anywhere else. My husband was not going to have that girl go. So the sugar baby is a witness to how happy my husband was when everybody called him Mr. Mark, when Mr. Mark lived there. She know he was on a bowling league as a couple with Mr. Mark. Now, the previous years, he and I were on the bowling league together as a couple. But when Mr. Mark came, they became the couple on the league. And I would just go watch them. I would watch them that year. So again, don't let men fool you. Don't let them trick you, girls. You are doing what you want to do because you want to. You're being loyal because you want to be loyal. He's not doing the same thing. He's out there licking sperm off of women that just got out of bed from another man. I mean, sucking it out. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean, y'all? You hear what I'm saying? I was sitting on his face, riding it so he can like suck every drip out of there, kind of thing. So Until you test the spirit, you know, you really have to test the spirit of your partners. See what they're really into. And the sugar baby, she took notes, good notes. Because when I let her in the driver's seat, because she couldn't get in the driver's seat unless I put her in there, y'all. Come on. It was my home, my husband, my family, all of that. She could have been gone. But I needed a face to all these women I couldn't see in the background. I needed a constant reminder during that 6 year, which ended up being an 8 to 9 year waiting period to be dumped. I needed a face. I needed to be constantly reminded that one day I'm going to be free. And before you go, make sure you and your kids are okay. So keep Sugar Baby right here. Since she's so determined anyway, she was determined and he was determined. He just wanted to enjoy the fact that some young girl was, you know, clocking him. He didn't get all this attention in high school. He was like a Urkel. In high school, I set him up with his prom date, a white girl. So this Bree baby, white woman, thinks she's special as being maybe one of his. I don't know. He probably didn't been with so many white women. He and I were swingers, guys. He and I were with white women together. My favorite one was the one with the nipple rings. I already did a video on the one with the nipple rings. Now she was fun. She was into double penetration. She wanted her husband's penis in one hole and my husband's penis in another hole. I didn't do that. I'm not into that. So I, let my husband, he don't mind doing threesomes and foursomes and swinging. He don't mind all that stuff. And he like going behind the other man, sucking off semen and stuff. He liked that shit. So I was able to see the extent of it with my own eyes and, enjoy it with him and whatever. So yeah. Uh, so maybe his new wife is like this too. Maybe that's why they're together. He got to learn what he like. So he was able to get a freaky white woman to live his best life with. Cool. I'm not mad. I'm just glad that I own my home, have cars, and me and my kids didn't end up with nothing. That's all I can say. I'm glad that me and my kids are not broke. Now that would be the joke. Now, if we were broke after all this, then that would be the biggest joke. But I let my husband have what he wants so that I could get what I need. And people may want to mock me and tease me and whatever. Well, are your bills paid? Are you still out there struggling? Now, I'm not saying I have no struggles. I'm not saying that now. No one is without struggles because I have 2 daughters and 8 grandchildren. And I decided I'm not going to date no more. I'm just going to, just see people sometimes. Dating is like a commitment to me, but, to go visit friends, I'm more into couples. I like poly. I like it when people can be honest and open. I like it when I'm with married people who are not lying and cheating on each other. Now, they may still be doing it because just because you poly don't mean you ain't lying and cheating. You can be open and honest about some stuff, and then other stuff you can still be lying and cheating about. I learned that poly don't guarantee honesty. It don't. If you're a liar, you're gonna be a liar whether you're monogamous, poly, or anything else. If you're a lying, cheating person, that's just who you are. That's what I learned. It don't matter if you're monogamous or poly. It's all the same. So I choose to just stay poly and not really be serious with anybody else anymore. I put in 32 years, y'all. 32 years of legal marriage being treated like shit. I am not excited jumping up and down to be in nothing with nobody else. For real. And even after that, I even dated pastor and Pastor is good people, y'all. He good people, but still, Jesus Christ, niggas are just niggas. Even if they pastors, I'm just saying, it is what it is, y'all. But I love Pastor. He's still my pastor. You know, but not really. I don't have an overseer. I am a pastor myself now. But he's still, in my friend group. I ain't got, no hard feelings. No hard feelings. We were healing buddies. He lost his wife, and my husband was dumping me, and we were there for each other. And it just didn't go to the next level. And for his reasons and mine, I'll just put it that way. But I really do enjoy, guys. I can't explain it. I really do enjoy being solo. I enjoy being solo more than being married at this point. I'll just have to be honest. And had I not put in 32 years, I probably wouldn't be speaking this confident about it. But I put in 32 legal years of marriage, y'all. Whew. I'm glad to still be, young enough. I know I'm old, 55, 56 this year is old as hell. I know that. But I don't take no medication. I don't have any health issues. Nothing on the books. No diabetes, high blood pressure, nothing, y'all. I have a clean bill of health. I take my mammograms. I'm running in the backyard with my grandkids. I'm climbing trees and, in the river water with them. And it's like I'm a teenager. Not by years, but by energy, by health. I'm like a teenager, you know. Sometimes I even have a little glow to me. But I'm so old, the glow phase gonna be gone. But every once in a while I pop out. So I'm enjoying, and thanking God that the marriage didn't squash me and destroy me, to the point where, I can't enjoy my kids and grandkids right now. That I can't enjoy Most High restoring my mind, my heart, my body. He restored everything, you know. And do have signs of aging. Of course, I'm old. 55, 56, I'm old, y'all. So I got some, sagging skin here and there and whatever, wrinkly face, whatever. I'm good, you know. And if I just gotta, hook up every once in a while, I know where to go. I know where to go. I love my couples. It is so easy to find couples out there. It's not hard. So, yeah, women, don't be stressing. Don't let these men stress you out. Live your best life. They doing whatever they want to do. You do you. If you're the loyal type, be that way. If you're the poly type, be that way. Men do not care. Don't let them trick you. I used an open marriage to find out just how my husband was and to show him me. He thought we were doing something all those years. When we opened the marriage and I started taking him to, these swinger parties, these are like upper scale swinger parties. I mean, we're engineers. He's an engineer. So there are swinger parties at that level where there's judges, lawyers, engineers, all the doctors. The rich people have their swinger parties. And in the hood, we'll always have our parties in the hood. Those are easy to form. But when you're judges and lawyers and all these kind of people, engineers and stuff, they have their orgies and swinger parties in different environments. And like I'm in Jamaica, you know, orgy parties in Jamaica, guys. I'm at orgy parties in, was it Gateland, Tennessee, like in a mansion on top of mountains. These are kind of orgy parties I end up at. Not like I was in some of the ones in the hood, it just depends, it just depends. But mostly I was like I went to like trapeze in Atlanta, but I haven't been to the one in Miami, guys. So I do want to go to trapeze in Miami. I go to like new resorts, like my favorite place is in Kissimmee called Secrets. That's my favorite new resort. But otherwise I go to Hito in Jamaica kind of stuff. So, you know, I was at some high scale swinger orgy events because of who I was married to. So he had fun. We had fun. We had fun, but it was more so testing him out. I just wanted to see what was he doing behind my back. And once I saw that, he went deep undercover to marry someone behind my back. Can you imagine how secretive he had to be? The level of deception. Going from an open marriage where we did everything together and I told him everything. I told him everything. He was lying, but I told him everything. To going so secret where you cough up with a wife. I'm like, wow. The level of deception. I'm almost impressed. To be honest, I'm impressed. It really impresses me the level of deception and secrecy. It leads to a movie. So whoever wants to take on my uh, story, who wants to help me produce it, put it on screen or whatever, I can't wait for you to interview him and find out just how he got Bree Baby. I know the sugar baby and my adopted sons and everybody in his life helped him get her. I know that. But there's still a story to it, y'all. It's still a story to it. I don't know. That's the beauty of it. I don't know the story. And it feels good to not know something because I'm a brainiac. I spend my whole life researching, trying to know shit all the time. So when I don't know something, it is so exciting because what? I get to learn something. Oh my God. So I can't wait to find out how he went behind my back and, the dates they had to sneak and all the times he got out of my bed and sneakily, all excitingly, you know how you be all excited when you sneak and do something. So he get out of my bed and he walk across the lawn or hop the fence. Because I heard she was a neighbor, but yet my one son that was telling all his business, he was the one that told the business. I wouldn't know nothing if my one son didn't open his mouth. I wouldn't know nothing about this woman. And so he was trying to sell this woman as being so rich. She rich, she got this property, that property, and just bragging about this new white woman his dad got. Again, my sons are like him. So while he's bragging about his dad's new white woman, I'm thinking to myself, ooh, this is gonna be so juicy for my movie and TV show and books. Yes. So I had to send my son away. Okay, let's shut this down. I don't need too much right now. Let's wait. Because the more I don't know, I'm able to express my raw, authentic feelings on the matter, which is not much. I don't have much to go off of because he and I had an open marriage. So it's kind of dumb. I mean, but again, there's an area in my life I don't know anything about. And it's going to be saved. I'm sure the information is going to come out later. You know, I need it to come out later. Right now, so much other stuff is being looked at and researched and analyzed for my story, my telling my own life story. Um, that little piece of information can stay there until I need it. I don't need it right now because so much other stuff is surfacing that's more important than when and how my husband met the homewrecker of homewreckers in our marriage. Now, I thought the sugar baby was the homewrecker of homewreckers in my marriage. And then this Bree baby popped up. I'm like, yes, because I kind of want to take the attention off the sugar baby because to me, she's innocent. I know that she's low down and dirty. I know she's low down and dirty, but she was innocent. She did not come in as a homewrecker. That's not how she entered our marriage. Now, is she still out there competing with this white woman? Yeah. Yeah, she's still in his life trying to get money. So yeah, she's competing with the new wife now. And again, this is all lifetime story type stuff. That's why I can talk about it so freely. I already lived it. This shit is old. It's old. But the effects of it are everlasting. The effects of his choices are everlasting. You know, he is still reaching out to one of my daughters, talking about he love her and care about her and praying about her. Why? Why? Stop it. You molested one and stole her girlfriend. Leave this one alone. You married her behind my back to someone who abused her and left her for dead. You don't love her. People that love other people don't do stuff like that. You don't secretly do anything. And then you don't just let that man just be over her without any guidance. You don't walk somebody down the aisle and then turn your back on them and let the person just do whatever, stomp them. And now I'm cleaning up your mess. You married her to that man. You should be the one providing her housing, helping her get back on her feet. You married her to that man. You and Bree baby should be doing what I'm doing. But I'm the mother. I'm expected to do this, and I'm here because guess what? I've always wanted her from the beginning. You should have never tried to turn her against me in the first place. How you gonna turn kids against their mom and then don't be there for the kids? Don't make sure the kids are okay. If you're gonna steal my kids, at least be loving and caring the way I am. He know I always tie my kids' shoes. He know I comb their hair. He know I care. Get to their doctor's appointments. How you gonna steal them from me and then don't even measure up? Don't maintain the relationship. Don't care about if their partners are beating them or not. He let people beat my kids while I was away. While he was stealing them from me, he was letting them be attacked. Not even trying to help them. Not calling polices. Not trying to. He just didn't do shit. I'm the kind of person, I'm hands on. I show up. I show out. When the drug dealer came here and trying to jump my daughter, I handled that shit. Where is this drug dealer at? Where the fuck he at? Who put their hands on my child? I don't care if you're a drug dealer or not. I was working in a pharmacy at 13. I ain't scared of no drug dealers in these streets. I was running a pharmacy at 13 years old. What the fuck? Where this fucking drug dealer? I even sent my son to go work where he worked at. When I found out where the drug dealer worked, I had my son to go apply for a job, guys. I ain't scared of no motherfucker out here. Why would I be? I serve most high. The spirit in me is greater than any bullshit out here in these streets. So yeah, I had to let my kid's stepfather show his ass. I let him show his ass so I can kick his ass. The spirit is doing it, not me physically, because I'm a 100-pound woman. I can't physically do shit. But in the spirit realm, but like I said, guys, some men claim one thing, but they really want something else. I could not believe what my husband was into. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. And I never said anything. I didn't discourage it. I just wanted to know. If you want to know, you're not going to disrupt the flow. You're going to take notes and you're going to make sure you win at the end. So thank you again. I'm on this channel as much as I talk about the sugar baby and the brie baby, white woman, all that. As much as I talk about it, I needed those women. I needed those women to complete my lifetime movie. And when they came, hey, I didn't interfere. I let them play their role. They had their part. Ask them. Ask the sugar baby. I never. It was so easy for her to be my husband. It was so easy. She had housing, cars, whatever she needed. It whatever. When a person is on a set doing their job, on set like we're producing something, right? How about this? When my husband and I did the GM commercial, we were historically, we are GM's first black people in a commercial, the professional grade. Engineer Tyrone Bland, engineer Tyrone Bland Sr., and his wife. We were their first black commercial. It was another couple and us. The first black professional grade GM commercial. That's your girl, Dr. Lisa the Preacher, y'all. That's me. But anyway, I was in a commercial, a professional commercial by GM shot in Toronto. Okay. This commercial was shot in Toronto, year 5 of our marriage. Year 5 of our marriage. And so I know how you're supposed to treat talent on a set. They would bring me whatever I want. If I wanted salmon, ice cream, whatever I wanted, they wouldn't got it. So when it was time for sugar babies and brie babies to show up in my life, they had top of the line treatment. I made everything easy for them because this is my production, my life, my show, my production, my marriage on display for the world. So when different characters come, I treat them well. I knew how I was treated by GM in that commercial. And when I refused to do the second week because we had our vacation anniversary planned in Vegas, I told GM, no, I'll give you the first week of the commercial. The second week, we already have vacation plans. Now, my husband was pissed. He wanted to cancel Vegas so fast and, please his employer, kiss his employer's ass. I was like, no, you're married to me. I put in 5 years of hell. Our first 5 years was hell. GM is not canceling what I earned. We going to Vegas. So what GM had to do was find body doubles. They had people audition to be us. That was the weirdest thing ever, having people out there trying to be me. So I have experience knowing when someone's trying to copy me, trying to mimic me. So when it really happened in my life years later, I recognize it. Made my talent there. I'm a talent scout, actually. I love finding talent. I like putting people on display. I love doing variety shows, talent shows. I love entertainment, dancing, singing, even though I'm not good at everything, but I enjoy just performing. So again, when the different talent performers come in my life, whether you are a sugar baby, a brie baby, you know, just a ratchet best friend that like to sleep with all my lovers. I mean, I've had those too. Best friends that can't wait to be with my lovers. Can't wait to steal my man or whatever. I've had those. I've had best friends that slept with my ex-boyfriend and kept them as lifetime friends. To this day, they're friends and I'm not. That's how my life has been, guys. So I've never expected to keep a man because, we all belong to God anyway. Don't nobody own me and I don't own no man. Now, can we be legally married and try to build a future with legacy and wealth for our kids and grandkids? Yeah. But my ex tried to leave me and my kids broke. so he can run off with sugar babies and white women. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. But again, I understand men, women, life, and I'm a performer. And I use my life as it was going like a reality show, and I put it on display. Why not? Yeah. But all right, guys, let me stop yapping over here. You all enjoy your day. I just wanted to pause and let women know that don't let men fool you. Some men want you to go out there and be with somebody. Yeah, they gonna complain a little bit so it won't seem so obvious. But then they don't even want you to shower and they'll lick it all off. You'd be surprised how your man may act one way in your face. And as soon as he closed that door behind him, he doing some any and everything out there. And I was able to prove it in my second marriage. And the only thing he could do to save face was just run off. I had clocked him on every level, right in our marriage. So the only thing he could do was run fast. He ran so fast, I didn't even get to sign the divorce papers. He was gone so fast. He had to hurry up and marry the next woman so fast before all this information started coming out. Whew, the ink never even hit the paper, divorce papers. But she may be in the lifestyle too. And if she's in the lifestyle too, then okay, all right, fair and square. But if she didn't know anything about him touching my daughter, stealing her girlfriend, liking to go behind other men, you didn't even get a shower. So basically, he do like it when women cheat on him. He's never expected anyone to be faithful to him. He was probably surprised that I was. He was surprised that I loved him. He didn't even know that a person could be in love with him, accept him, and want him. He had no idea the extent that he was my twin flame. God assigned us to be together. But just because God wants you to be with somebody don't mean that they have to. That person can choose not to be with you, even though God wants them to. I'm just saying. Just like God may want me to be with somebody, but that don't mean that I just all into them like that. I mean, I'll obey God anyway, and I'm going to treat somebody at least the way I treat myself. If nothing else, I'm going to obey God, and I'll be with who He said. But I know some people, they don't move that way, and so you can be surprised when someone actually is faithful to you and actually love you and actually value you. I don't think he expected that. I think he expected me to treat him like everybody else in his life did, like shit. And for 16 long years, 17 long years, I hung in there with him. And he just threw it away because he was shady. He didn't have belief. He was doing everything, behind my back. And after time went by, I just said, forget it. Let's just bring it all to the front. Let's just bring it to the front. Nothing he could say or do could really hurt and break, you know. I had been through it all, you know. So, ladies, stay smart. Stay smart. And just because someone moving funny, don't mean you have to just throw it all away immediately. Sometimes Most High will lead you and guide you through situations. He'll lead you and guide you so that you can win in the end. Now, do some situations require you to just immediately save your life? Yeah, heck yeah. But then there are situations where Most High will keep you right there and He will lead you and guide you until that person run off. Sometimes God will have you leave. Sometimes he'll have that person leave. And when he want you to let that person leave, it requires patience. It requires a lot of note taking, paying attention, discernment. You have to be a very obedient person in order for God to lead and guide you out of a situation. Now, sometimes you just have to flee. Just, oh, I understand that. But then sometimes when you got to be on assignment for years, you got to be undercover for years for the Lord, though, for the Lord, not for your own self, not for vengeance. If it's for your own self and vengeance, the results, they don't come out the same. But when it's the Lord leading and guiding, I end up with both my kids and all my grandkids under my care. Now, what I do with them, that's on between me and God. How I deal with my kids and grandkids. That's between me and God. But it took Most High leading and guiding to get us here because that step parent has such a horrible evil grip. Other people outside of us were using us and abusing us and attacking us and raping us and doing all this stuff to us. So we've been led and guided away from all that now. And now my children and I were together. And we ain't perfect. We are, whew, we're survivors. And so have you ever seen people survive after a storm? Everything looked like wreckage and debris. That's what we look like over here. A family that just got dumped by someone who promised to love and protect and take care of us forever. He changed his mind like it was easy and is off breezing. No, but y'all, really though, yeah, I may express myself and, you know, cry unto the Lord about how I feel about different things every once in a while. But for the most part, I needed every bit of that brie baby and every bit of that sugar baby in order for me to be where I'm at today. Because that man was dirty as dirt, dusty as dust. And I'm thankful for the deliverance. I'm thankful. But I went through a lot. I went through a lot. And I'm thankful. That's all I can say, guys. All right, that's it. I'm gonna cut this off. And like I said, don't be fooled by these men and women. I'm a woman, so I speak from a woman's perspective. Of course, there are women out there. Again, I have had best friends who were women that were professional. I mean, this is all they did was specialize in trying to take somebody else's man. They never wanted their own. Ever. I rarely saw these particular women that, that were friends on my journey. I rarely saw them go after men that were not already committed to somebody else. The thrill is the stealing. So I understand what Bree Baby is experiencing. I've had friends like her, waited around for years for their turn, for this man to divorce who they with and be with them. These women will actually have babies for these men while they waiting, all kind of stuff. It's weird. I won't say weird. It's just different from how I live. I'll put it that way. Over here, you may hear me come off as though I'm slamming these women. But at the end of the day, if you really listen to my videos when I do like Bible study, I just explain their stories for real, for real. Like Jezebel. I be backing Jezebel up on my channel. Jezebel is not the as evil and bad as people claim. She had to be that way because of the evil man she was married to. Why would God give a sweet, innocent woman to such an evil generational man? He was generationally evil. So God gave him a evil woman. I mean, like, duh. She was just doing her job. So why we be, you know, talking about her so bad? But that's what sells. Talking about the other woman or the evil woman or that woman or whatever. It sells. It sells. It sells. It sells. It sells. But these women are doing more than just home wrecking. They're doing more than home wrecking. They're actually delivering people. They're actually saving people from hurt, pain, and being cheated on and stuff. Now the problem is they're transferring all this to themselves though. That's what concerns me. Why is this woman doing this to herself? Why is she stealing a child molester? I mean, like, if he's over here touching my daughter, you don't think he's gonna be over there touching yours? If he's over here stealing my daughter's girlfriends, you don't think he's gonna be over there stealing your daughter's girlfriends or your sons? Or your sons. You got a son. Every time your son bring a girl home, you better be praying. Or a boy. It don't matter. Because he like to suck and lick semen off of you. I'm sure he probably doing it to you. If you in the lifestyle. So whatever he's doing to you, he wants to do it to your kids and their friends. Is what I'm trying to say. That was my experience with him. Everything we were doing in our marriage, he couldn't wait to do it to the kids and their friends. But some women don't believe this stuff. And then some women, they don't know life any other way. Like that's how I end up in this situation. I had went through this as a child. So when it ended up in my marriage, it was familiar. So maybe the sugar baby didn't been through this. I know she was touched as a child too. She told me the sugar baby had been touched. Even by the parent of one of her friends. She was visiting a friend, just like how she visited my daughter's house, our home. One of her friends from the past, parent touched her. And then she come to my house. And the same thing happened in my house. But it explains why it happened in my house. She already had experienced it before. So by the time she come to my house, at least this man got homes and cars and shit.